Good morning, everybody. I'd like to welcome you to the Pulaski County Fiscal Court. We have with us today Brother Clarence Floyd, longtime city council member and public servant, and with the honor guard. And I've asked him today if he would open us up in the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'd all stand, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Call this meeting to order. First item on the agenda then will be the approval of the minutes from our previous meeting. We have one change to be amended. It's number 4. Apparently we put the wrong name, and it's supposed to be Tanner Wheeldon, not Tanner Brown. Motion to accept minutes with change. Second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries. All right. Then the next item on the agenda, we're going to call on Mr. Floyd again. He's got a program that we did last year together, and he's headed it up again this year. And if you'd care to come to the microphone, Mr. Floyd, and address our board, please.
Thank you, Judge. I'll be glad to do that. For several years, we found flags and garbage cans and over the hillside and everything. And we're trying to make people more aware of the American flag and what it really stands for. You can go to a ball game today, and we have failed with our young people. We haven't trained them, we haven't informed them, and they have no idea what the flag stands for. Because you play the national anthem and they're playing grab butts and everything in the world, but they're hand over their heart thanking us for our country. If we go back, you guys are all young, the most of you. I'll soon be 85-year-old. I've seen a lot in my life, but the flag is a precious thing, what it stands for. I was just a young kid coming back from Korea. I was one of those lucky ones. I got to come home. As I came into Seattle, Washington, we was coming in from the east, from Incheon, Korea to Seattle, Washington. And it was on a January the 3rd morning of 1955. It was cold, not real cold, but cold enough that we were out on deck getting ready to unload the ship. And I could see something glistening way off in the distance, and I watched it. And the more I watched and the closer we got, I finally realized it was the American flag. And it's one of the biggest flags I've ever seen flying. That's the first flag that I really saw from the time I left the United States until I came back to the United States. Because where I was, there wasn't any flags. It's that little old country over there. It's good to visit, but everybody tried to kill you. But since that day, I've had a great appreciation for the American flag. So last year, what we've been doing, the American Legion, we've just been getting a bunch of the ROTC kids from Pulaski County, or from Southwestern and Pulaski County, and come and just have a private flag dedication service. The judge and I talked last year, and we wanted to make it something different, something that people could remember and be a part of. So we had a flag dedication out at Summerfield Park in the back. We did not do a good job, Judge, of advertising and getting people there, but we still had probably, 175 to 100 people. So this year, we want to really go out and help people understand what the American flag stands for. So what we're going to do on April the 29th at 1 o'clock, we're going to assemble out there, and we've got a great group of people coming to help us. Let me tell you some of the people that's involved. We've got the mayor's office involved. We've got the judge's office. We got Mrs. June Correll from Northern Middle School who's going to bring her kids and sing the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance in my old Kentucky home. So we're excited about them coming. Post 38 Honor Guard is going to fold the flag and go through a complete flag dedication, exactly how Congress said it should be done when they passed a law in 1942. We've got Brother Harmon coming to be one of our speakers and to have a prayer. We've got the city parks involved, the city police, the fire department, Parkers Mill Fire Department, Southwestern ROTC, the Sheriff's Office, the local VA, and Mr. Jerry Eichert is so kind to let us use his facilities out there that we're really grateful for that. So WTLO, WSFC are all working with us in order to help us promote and do a job and get the word out about the flag retirement. The mayor's not going to be able to be there this year, but he'll have a rep there. The judge is going to speak and make comments about the flag. And then we have an extinguished fellow this year. His name is Brigadier General Michael Bichard. Michael's going to be here and be one of the speakers. Michael just retired from the military after about 28, 29 years. And he's moved down to Waitsboro, so he's going to be one of our residents, Judge. He's a great fellow. I really appreciate him, and he's going to be one of our speakers. So we've just got a lot of things planned for that. Now, we've got flag containers to put flags in. We have them in front of the courthouse. We have them in front of the city hall. We have them at both Kroger stores and out at the hometown IGA. I went yesterday and picked up 35 flags in 2 containers. So since we've had those containers out, we've taken in over 200 flags. Now, I don't know where those 200 flags would have been otherwise. I had a lady to call me yesterday and said, I have 3 trash bags full of flags. Where can I leave them? So she's bringing them to work with her this morning, and when I leave here, I'm going to go pick them up to make sure that they're retired the way they should be. So we're excited, Judge, and we're just hoping that we get the word out to everybody as to exactly what's happening and let them come and see how a flag should be retired. When Congress passed a law about the flag before that, there was nothing. And they specifically state exactly how a flag's supposed to be handled and how it's supposed to be retired. And we're going to do that. And I hope that each of you can come and be a part and bring somebody with you. Because the more young people we can get, Judge, I just talked to you about inviting somebody, if you'll call Boyd and find out about the school. I've already talked to Southwestern. We're trying to get as many young people there as possible to help them really understand what the flag stands for. Fellas, I don't have many veterans in here, but the flag is a precious thing to everyone, but it's really precious to the veterans. Because when you're in a country, I stayed 15 months in Korea. And during that time, I saw 1 woman and 1 car in 15 months. I never saw a flag. I stayed in a barbed wire compound that was about probably an acre. I was allowed to go out of that every so often, but then I had to have a rifle and a helmet and ammunition in order to even go out. So freedom really is precious, and our flag stands for freedom. So when we really think about the flag and what it stands for, I know you can see a ship at sea. The first thing you'll notice is a flag flying. You go to Washington, the first thing you see is a flag flying. You come to the courthouses across Kentucky or any other state, you see the flag flying. So the flag means something to a lot of people, and we want to make it meaningful to more people. So, Judge, I thank you for this opportunity of coming, and I just hope that each one of you will help us to do the best we can to retire the American flag and help people understand what it really stands for. And if you'll do that, then annually we can do this and really help people understand what's happening. So appreciate it, Judge, and thank all of you for letting us be here and for your participation in what we're going to do on the 29th. The other thing I want to mention, you know, there is a group out of Kentucky has an honor flight every year to Washington. And what they want to do, they want to give all the old soldiers a welcome home. I never had a welcome home. I came home and nobody even knew where I'd been. Nobody said hello. Nobody was there to meet me. I just came home. I'd meet people that I knew, and they'd say, where have you been? And if you're a veteran, you know what I'm talking about. There was no homecoming. They tell me I've been selected to go on the honor flight on the 22nd of this month. And they tell us there'll be probably 3,000 people to see us off in Lexington when we leave, but they said there'll probably be 5,000 people there when we return. I've never had a homecoming like that. I'm looking forward to it. So God bless you and bless the court, and God bless our nation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and I have itineraries and I have brochures. And Judge, you have them too, don't you? So you can pick them up to the judge's office or see me and you'll see I get my churches you can. Okay.
All I'd say is thank you. Appreciate you. All right. Next item on the agenda then will be our old business. We have one item on old business, and previously we talked about the city-county interlocal agreement for comprehensive fire protection services. And basically there was a question about the wording of the interlocal agreement as it was presented. We went back and we researched with the fire commission and the minutes of their meeting. And I'm going to propose one small change. You've got copies, I believe, of the original, and then you've got a copy of the new recommended version. The only real change is in paragraph 3, paragraph number 3. It's going to read, in addition, the county can provide a one-time lump sum payment in the total amount of $375,000, which shall be paid to the city of Somerset upon the signing and approval of this interlocal agreement by the mayor and county judge and the legislative bodies of the city of Somerset, Pulaski County. Said lump sum is hereby provided to the city of Somerset, and here's where the change occurs. For the purchase of a fire truck or apparatus, along with any equipment as needed by the city of Somerset in order to carry out its full duties and responsibilities under this interlocal agreement. It's a subtle change, but it does reflect the minutes of the fire commission meeting which they voted on and approved. So I would recommend to the court that we accept this interlocal agreement and sign that and send that back to the city of Somerset to see if they would agree with that. But you have both versions there in front of you, and I would entertain a motion from the court.
Stacy, did the fire commission vote on this as far as giving them this money? They did, and they agreed to give them that, right?
Make a motion that we do the original one. That was the one that Stacy and them, you all agreed to that one, the original one?
We agreed to use the money to the city of Somerset and support the fiscal court, whatever they want to do as far as the agreement.
I can, Stacy provided me with the minutes of the fire commission meeting where this money is allotted. Here's the language that was included in those minutes. I don't know if they've been approved yet or not at a subsequent meeting, but the language said, giving the city of Somerset a one-time allotment of $375,000 for the purchase of a fire truck or apparatus, along with any equipment that the city could obtain for that amount. So that's what the original, that's what the minutes from the fire commission stated. The original agreement that Mr. Strunk has referred to, I'll quote the relevant language in that. Basically $375,000 provided to the city for the purpose of purchasing firefighting apparatus and equipment, including but not limited to fire engine truck, as needed by the city of Somerset to carry out its full duties and responsibilities under this interlocal agreement. The change that was made, that the judge proposed, really probably, in my mind, because I made it, I guess. But in my mind, it more comports with the minutes from the fire commission, but it doesn't really take anything away from the original agreement. The relevant portion, as I amended, it says, said lump sum is hereby provided to the city of Somerset for the purchase of a fire truck or apparatus, along with any equipment as needed by the city of Somerset in order to carry out its full duties and responsibilities under this interlocal agreement. So it just maybe makes it a little more concise, clarifies it a little more consistent with the commission minutes. You know how us lawyers are, though. Terry drafted the
Got
first
something to
one.
pick at, huh? Stacy, is this what the Fire Commission wants, is to help the city out with this? Evidently, because they all voted for it or not?
Yeah, the fire commission passed it to the fire commission to give the city $375,000 to purchase a fire truck with.
So in my opinion, that's what the Fire Commission wants.
Along with the SRT agreement as well, Stacy?
Yes, sir, I think, Martin, you had that SRT agreement too.
I did.
And it was verbally agreed on that day that we had the meeting with the mayor.
We've got the proposed interlocal agreement. Stacy and Doug have both looked it over, and I think it's ready to be voted on today as well.
Are you guys gonna be able to handle this money okay? I mean, is it gonna cut you to the bare limits, or you gonna be okay?
We're okay with it.
We've got a motion on the floor, for the sake of that, or someone would like to. You don't want to, then we can go the other way.
Second,
The original.
for the original agreement that Stacy made with the mayor or whoever he made it with. I mean, if that's what they want, it's their money, you know.
Okay, well, I think what he wants is the amended agreement.
Stacy, speak up.
Amended or the original?
Stacy.
You want the
Matter.
amended agreement or the original agreement?
I think,
I mean, you would have to take it back before you commission if we done the amended
No,
one.
I think your motion was for the original.
The original one, yeah, the city's already approved that one.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's like I said, fire commission will support the fiscal court, however you wanna do it. I've not sat down and read the second agreement or anything else.
That was the only language change, and I think either one of them are consistent with what the commission agreed to.
Only thing that worries me about it is there's a lot of fire departments out here. I don't want them sliced or cut or whatever. I want them to be able to have what they need to do their jobs.
Yeah, no, I mean, our budget, we had money in the budget to do this.
Yeah, I know the last one I looked at, it was substantial amount.
We've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried.
Did that include SRT or whatever?
no, we'll have to do it separate.
Okay, I make a motion we approve it.
Second.
Not quite there yet, since you made a motion, we'll. Y'all get your SRT agreement there, do y'all have that in front of you?
Well, I would if I could. There's a lot of language in here I don't really understand. Doug provided it, Stacy looked at it, and it's technical in nature.
Maybe Doug could explain it.
It's under section 5. There's some acronyms and the like that I don't really understand. But Doug provided me with the information, and that's what I included in this agreement. The rest of the agreement outside of subsection 5 is basically, it's not reinventing the wheel in this agreement. It's basically the same, the rest of it's the same language we use in practically all interlocal agreements between us and the city. Section 5 is usually where we tweak it to fit the situation that we're talking about.
Judge, do you need me to? Y'all probably got a copy of it, have you read through it? If you're okay with it, we take the motion that's been on the floor. We have a motion, we have a second, or you would like to have clarification?
I'd like to know a little more about it, please.
You come forward, please. Yeah.
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, you're fine, you're fine. I want everybody clear on it.
Doug, you need a copy of it to look at?
No, I've got yours marked that I had. The only thing in that agreement, there's no change from what we do in the county now. That is just stating that we will be on the same pages if the city accepts it. The same automatic pages that I are on with every other fire department in the county. So there's no difference in what we're doing in the city than we do in the county as far as our pages, which is kind of where it got started. This is not trying to take over from Somerset Fire. We're working with them. That's why I put the NIMS language in there. NIMS is when you have 2 or more agencies get on a scene, there's a certain way we're supposed to work together. That's what the reason that's in there. The particular things on when we're paged and whatever is basically just according to what type of incident it might be. But that initially is the exact same paging procedure that Aaron has for any other county fire department that they have a situation like that, where we would be paged out at the same time. Does that help, or?
So basically, it's gonna be a standard policy.
It'd be standard policy across the whole county, regardless of what municipality or just in the county that it might be. More than anything, it's a procedure for us to be able to work together to provide the service that the county needs. And also, it's a guideline for Aaron's people at 911 more than anything, so they're not stuck on, okay, when do we do this, when do we do this, when do we do this? Aaron's got the exact same procedure that you have in that agreement for us for any incident in the county with the exception of the municipality of Somerset. And this will put all of that together.
Doug, has the city already approved this?
No, sir. Me and Mark have just got it together. It has not gone before the city yet.
Mike, it's basically what the mayor was talking about though, isn't it?
That's what he had talked about that day we was over there. But we'll just have to, run it, he'll have to look at it and approve it before it goes into effect. The mayor will have to approve it too. The city council will.
And I didn't send it to Carrie because it was late yesterday when.
Right. We got it.
I got it finished yesterday and sent it to Doug and then for Stacy to look at, so I haven't sent it to Carrie yet, but I'll do that today.
So we have a motion to accept this SRT interlocal agreement. Do we have a second?
It's already
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Jimmy first.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Uh,
Any opposed?
Tyler, I'll get a copy to Carrie today.
Thank you
for
all.
to look at. Okay.
All right, thank you, Chief. Next item on the agenda then will be a county road aid agreement. This is based on the county road aid resolution we do every year. Joan, you explain that? This thing to you, right?
Correct. This is our standard county road aid agreement. It's money that we get for the state for work on the county roads in Pulaski County. It's approximately $2 million plus. I can't remember the exact. $2 million, $2.1 million.
Actually, I think we need the resolution first, or there needs to be a roll call vote.
Yes.
We have a resolution there for the county road aid resolution. So we want to amend this again. So we entertain a motion to accept this resolution.
Motion to accept it.
Second, have a roll call vote, please.
Wilson,
Yes.
Turpin,
Yes.
Fielding,
Yes.
Maxey,
Yes.
Strunk.
Yes.
So we'll move on then, to the next one will be accepting the agreement. We need a motion, and second to accept the agreement.
Motion.
Second.
Second, any further discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Carries, thank you. Next item then on the agenda will be jail fund transfers.
Yes, this is just standard, basically housekeeping that we have to do to make all the line items whole. So I would ask for approval for transfers to the jail fund.
Motion.
Motion second, any further discussion? All in favor?
No.
Any opposed? Carried.
Thank you until later.
Next item on the agenda, I have a Woodstock Community Board reappointment. Basically, it's Claude Atkins has served, fulfilled his 4-year term, and unanimously, the other board members would like to see Claude serve another 4-year term, and I would recommend Claude Atkins for reappointment to that position.
Motion.
Second.
Motion to second, any further discussion? All in favor?
No.
Any opposed? Carries. Next item then on the agenda will be our department report. Sheriff, did you have anything that you'd like to address the court?
Yeah.
Taylor, is he with us today? In the corner?
I believe it was the last board meeting that I shared with you some possible bad news maybe coming down from the state about our toxicology report payment and autopsies that might be delayed. Since then, you may have saw on the news where our chief medical examiner, Dr. Ralston, submitted his resignation to the governor because of this. And the coroner's conference, the coroner's commission has went now to the governor, and he has allowed us to continue as we were. Apparently, there's been some more funds that's found, so it looks like our toxicology reports are going to continue to be paid for by the state. Dr. Ralston was reinstated because he got what he wanted. And for some reason, this all started when a lawyer was hired by the governor to come into the medical examiner's office and send out these memos. And Dr. Ralston wasn't aware of it apparently, and but now I think it's been all cleared up, so just to give you some relief.
Yay.
Good, yeah.
Linda, do you have anything to say for the court?
I do not, thank you.
Stacy?
One thing I have is, for the court is, we had a employee off on family medical leave, and he's come back and resigned, due to his health. So I just want to ask the court for us to be able to, seek applications for a mechanic for the garage. And then also, I talked to him about a, temporary employee to try to help us get caught up where we've been, short on people and try to get some of our equipment going back over to the garage again.
You need permission to advertise is what you're asking for?
I'm just asking, yeah, for permission to advertise for a mechanic and a part-time employee, so, or it's actually a
Temporary full-time.
temporary full-time employee I talked to John about, so.
Motion. Second.
Motion and second, any further discussion? All in favor?
No.
Any opposed?
That's all I have, thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, it'll be our road department. You got something for us, I'm sure.
The only thing I have today, Judge, is just approval of your road work.
We've got tonight, and then we'll need to address within that road work. We, in the second district, this will require a separate vote. We had several roads listed, y'all had them right in front of you. Several roads in and around the oil center region, and basically just kind of trying to give oil center back to the people and let them have access to be able to ride their ATVs in and around oil center. So there's several roads that we would need to approve as legal to operate
Okay.
forward on.
Motion.
Motion, we have a second.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
One thing we need to do, Judge, is make sure that the road department gets hold of this and gets signage and everything put up for them, please.
Blue. Let's see, I don't think we have any speed limit signs there. We have a motion to approve the other road work request.
Motion. Second.
Motion second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, George. Next then will be, 911. Aaron?
Things today. For the grant, we have to bid out the grant that we're writing right now for the Texas 911 and get quotes on that. I'd like to ask court permission to advertise for bid on that.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion second to advertise the bid on the
Have to be,
Texas
you don't,
grant.
you
Any
have
further
to
discussion?
advertise for bid. You can't
All
get
in favor?
quotes.
Any opposed?
We can get them, but we can't use them.
Motion carries.
Second thing is, I'd like to ask the court to permission to hire Josh Hawk for a part-time as needed dispatcher position.
We have a motion to hire Josh Hawk part-time.
Motion.
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? When will that become effective, Aaron?
Probably next pay period, so it'd be 2 weeks from now, I guess. 2 weeks from yesterday.
All right, thank you. Wait, Dan, you have anything today? Had him with us today, or is he? Let's see, I've got Carolyn Mouse with us today, gonna bring some good news, I hear, right?
I'll just take a couple of seconds here.
Fishing tournament went great, didn't it?
We had great fishing tournaments
Yeah.
this last weekend, and you know, Crappie USA moved to Pulaski County Park to accommodate the FLW tournament. And I have their post-press release, and I just wanted to read you what they're writing in that post-press release. Thank you to Pulaski County Parks for allowing us to use the 800-acre park for the weigh-in, which is one of the finest weigh-in sites we have been to, and they travel all over 20 states. Lake Cumberland is truly a big black crappie manufacturing plant. This lake posts some of the best weights in the country, and we couldn't be happier to call it home. So they are so happy. You know, next year, 2018, we're going to have the Classic here, and they really want to do it at Pulaski County Park, and we hope that that's going to work out for them. There will be, this time we had about 110 anglers there, and the next time we should have 350 anglers. So it's a much bigger production, but I think that the park will work out perfect for them. The big fish was 2 pounds, 2 3/4 pounds, and the overall catch was well over 24 pounds. So there you go. Thanks, guys.
Good crowd out there, thank you.
Yes,
for,
excellent,
hard work on that.
excellent crowd.
How many total entries did we have at the FLW?
You know, I am not positive about that. I was told that originally there were 300, but you know, FLW will fish, and then the second day there are only 20, and then the third day there are 10
Yeah.
that go out. So that is the way they do it. But Crappie, or FLW, came up with us at the Kids Rodeo Classic up at Ruckles Pay Lake, and they do fishing up there. It was really cold, about 7 o'clock Saturday morning, but lots of kids out there, and we had some great prizes for them, so it all worked out really, really well. Thank you so much.
Between the city tourism, county tourism, it was a great weekend for fishing.
It was a
Tourism,
great weekend for our county and for our lake, and yes, it was very, very good. And, you know, coming up May 9th 10th, and 11th. We've got Kentucky Travel Industry Association coming into town, and so we've got some really neat things planned for that. And we should have, upwards of 200 people here that are tourism related. So good deal. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Joe, you got a few things here to sign.
Oh, yeah, my stuff isn't as fun as everybody else's. The first thing for your consideration would be this month's claims list, the bill list.
I've got a copy of the bill list. You can-
Motion. Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
The second item I have would be the March bank reconciliation.
Motion. Motion to accept the bank reconciliation. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And the last item I have would be the third quarter financial statement. I can't believe we're already 3 quarters into the fiscal year and basically 1 quarter into 2017.
Third quarter financial statement, what is your pleasure?
Motion to accept it.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
And the last thing I just want to say, obviously, not the last thing I want to say, but he's going to have a question, is I'm getting ready to be knee-deep in budget. If anybody has any questions and concerns while I'm working on it, please let me know, get those to my attention so they can be added, deleted, whatever. And Dan, obviously, you had something.
We're having Joan, we're having a surplus auction at May the 19th at 10 a.m. Do we need to ask permission from the court to advertise?
Yes.
Motion.
We have a motion then to advertise the surplus auction.
Second.
And second, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Do we know the time?
I think 10 a.m.
Does the money from this auction go back to the department who donated this, or does it go to the general?
Normally, we do it to the department,
Okay, that's good.
but the KRS states that it is to go back to the general fund, but it is our option to allow that to be released to the departments. So yes, we do release it to the departments.
Okay.
So Joan, for any department that's got items they want to surplus, they must have it on the next court agenda.
We will, yes, we will have a court meeting. We should have 2 court meetings before then, as long as those items are surplused before the auction approved to surplus, but they must be approved for surplus. That is all I have, gentlemen. Thank you.
Next item then on the agenda will be citizens' comments, feedback and concerns from our citizens. And we just asked if you want to be on the agenda, that you let us know how much time today prior to the court. And just ask if you would keep your comments, fairly brief. We try to recommend 3 minutes or less, but I've got one today, WCC, Flatwood Road, if you'd like to come forward, sir. Address the court.
Thank the council, thank the members, thank the elected officials. Thank you, Judge, for allowing me to speak today. I'm going to try to keep this as brief as possible. And I've been here several times before. Like I say, I'll keep this brief. It won't take too long. Okay, my occupation, I'm a school bus driver. I was hired by the Board of Education. My job description, I deliver students from point A to point B. In other words, I haul your children. I transport your children from point A to point B. Whenever I pick them up, I am responsible for their lives. My decisions I make on the road, when I meet cars, when I meet trucks, when I motion them across in front of my bus, I have these people with my stop sign out. They run my stop sign continually out on Highway 80. I'm the only bus driver out of Nancy, Kentucky that delivers on Highway 80. What I'm trying to iterate here is my responsibility is that safety of that child. I am held accountable. No one else. I'm behind the wheel. I open the door. I turn my signal on. I look for traffic this way, that way. I am accountable. If somebody comes up and they're going too fast in behind me, they look at me, they know 2 times not to go. I am held accountable for their lives. Okay. I also accept new students. I haul my former students from location to location. I accept new students. Whenever the Board of Education tells me, you have new students, you have people that have moved into this district, et cetera, it is my responsibility to work with the Board of Education to make sure that the children of those parents that have moved in from whatever location that are delivered on my bus safely from point A to point B. If I mess up at all, a child can die. Period. Okay, the road that I'm speaking on and what I'm getting to here, we're all held accountable. As elected officials, you swear in an oath, just as I, to be held accountable. Couple things that make a person who they are. It makes your character. One is truth. One is integrity. One is your duty. When you take on a job, it is your duty to do it. The last but not least, and the greatest of all, honor. You cannot achieve this without all the 3 before. And what you do as people, elected or office personnel, or anybody in this courtroom, or not courtroom, but council room, that determines who you are, and it makes you either honorable or dishonorable. And I can also say this because being on the fire department formerly for years out at Nancy, volunteer, no pay. And also I know what Mr. Halcom over there, I know the job he's took on, much respect for the Sheriff's Department. I have high admiration for all our elected officials. So with that being said, we have a commitment. We have to execute duties that are prescribed to us. That's why we have this council. Whenever Mr. Kelly, Judge Kelly, whenever he makes a determination, and for my magistrates, whenever you are given a directive and it is okayed by Mr. Kelly and it is voted on by the council, it should be executed. It has to be executed. Otherwise, why do we have a council? Why do we have elected officials? I, just being a people, just a people among people with one vote. But today I have my wife, Maria Stevens, which also teaches at Southwestern and took off today to be here with me. She has one vote. Is each and every one of you have one vote? We vote when we have our elections for our county officials. We expect our county officials to work for us, to work for the county as a whole, to protect our people, to make our county strong, to make our counties strive, to bring wealth into our county, to bring new people into our county, new jobs, business, et cetera, et cetera. We are expected and we deliver. Okay, getting to my problem now. I live on 1006 Flatwoods Road. On my road 2 years ago now going on, this council approved the road department under Mr. Dennis Turner. And I probably should look at my notes here, but I've got all this. This has been memorized by God above. It was approved, and Mr. Kelly, you asked Mr. Turner if this could happen. Mr. Turner agreed. Council agreed. Can we do this? Can we clean out these little ditches on this side of the road? Since this has transpired, and since nothing has been done to this little ditch line, I've had several excuses. Well, I don't want to do this. Well, it might interfere with the people on down the road. I was also recently contacted the Department of Soil and Conservation out of Frankfort, Kentucky. But I'm not done yet. Right now, I have equity and injury to my property that I own, that I pay taxes on. Let me say that again. I have equity of injury to my property that I own. If you walk where I park my bus, and I park my bus at my shop, at my house, because it saves the county gas, because my first pickup is about 1,500 feet from my home, and that is my last drop-off of the evening, which makes it feasible for me to drive my bus home, which most drivers do. We keep it clean, etc. Okay, where I park, I have ditches right now since the last washout this deep. Mr. Price over there has been the last one to visit my property. No, I take it back. Soil and Conservation visited my property 2 weeks ago. We made an assessment. I have this big, large pond that I built almost 20 years ago on my property. Water flow from across the road has increased because of land development. I do not have to accept that water, surface water. It's not a stream, et cetera, et cetera. So it is coming to my property, running over, and it's either going to damage my house or it's totally damaged. I have equity of injury again. And my pond now has lost elevation of approximately 2 feet. Also, Soil Conservation told me, he said that, yes, that's a sizable body of water. Yes, it is. I've got fish in there. Speaking of fish, we was talking about a minute ago, I have bass in there like that, just for a little humor there. So anybody wants to come out fishing, you can come out fish. Be glad for your fish. Okay, to make a long story short. They asked me, they said, yes, you have this. And if that dam breaks, you have a secondary. I said, yes. But well, you need another. And I said, I can take care of that. But if this body of water, with the water I'm getting across the road now from new development, if it washes out my dam, it goes down the creek. We have 4 units down there sitting on the creek. And I won't say that the last big rain we had a couple of years ago, which done major damage to this one resident, was a possibility of the water coming across the road. But it is an issue. So, to make a long story short, going back to commitment, going back to execution of directives given. All I ask, and it hasn't happened yet, and then I'll end this conversation. Less than a half a day with 1 dump truck and 1 backhoe. I've been approached with an idea to take care of my situation, but the idea of my situation, what it would take to alleviate it, would contain a filter system, 3-point catch basin 2 ways with a connecting pipe underneath, and then all connecting pipe that I have underground, which will not sustain the water flow that is coming from across, that I do not have to accept. The county does not want to go that route. Major funding expelled. When all I need is, you can figure this out. And also, and I'll say this here, 4 hours maximum with a dump truck and a backhoe to start to alleviate this problem. And also, in the last 20-year period, I have a 1.5 foot drop elevation in the blacktop from moist area where the blacktop is settled, which needs to be addressed, and that's where the water's crossing and washing, doing injury to the property that I own and pay taxes on.
Mr. Stevens, could you get to what you're asking?
Okay, I need this work done. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. And I'd appreciate if the council could just execute the orders that Mr. Kelly has given and take care of my problem. Thank you.
What is the problem out there? I mean, this gentleman's been here time and time again.
It is
Can
washing
we
my
help him?
driveway away.
Can we do anything for him? Or ain't nothing can be done?
His house is below the road. There's no way, he's got a natural drain. That's where the water's gonna flow. I believe if you talk to NRCS, that's the same thing that Mr. John Burnett, that talked to us a couple of weeks, that decided to. We talked about it. I've been out there numerous times to try to have ideas of fixing this problem.
One time with me.
Once.
You've been out there once with me. This was the time the grader done the damage in front of the house and messed up the ditch line, and you told me,
We didn't talk before that?
no, you've been out there one time and talked to me.
The time you stopped us from working on the ditch line.
I never did stop you from working on the ditch line. No, sir. Not no time.
The problem is, water comes to his property, and his solution is to
Clean out the ditch lines.
Put it over
Yeah.
the hill on the
Clean
other
out, just
side.
clean out the ditch lines. The ditch lines that were there, but over the years, over the last 17 years, gravel keeps being dumped on this road. The grader comes through in the wintertime, grades the gravel over in the ditches. Those ditches are no longer there. I just want the ditches cleaned out so the water flows like it did previously. That's all I ask. And now I'm going to ask the question. This is my main question. Why has this not been done when Mr. Kelly agreed and the road department agreed to clean out these ditches? Why has this not been done? Been 2 years ago. It's on file and it's on the minutes of the meeting.
I know the last contact I had with you, I'd asked for a quote from you to do the work that you wanted to have done, because you were on our approved bidder list to do the work, and I still have not seen that quote, so.
I really do not need to do this, because this would be a conflict of interest on what we have going. Right now, the road department, it has been agreed.
All I have to go by is what my road supervisor tells me can and can't be done, and I'm not the expert in.
And I've never talked to Mr. Wilson in person about this problem. My magistrate, I have never got to talk to him one time in person.
Can I say something? Being his wife, being together, and being the
Yes,
same
we love
landowner
this.
and tax owner, if he was to die, and he is getting up early, I know. So, let's just say it this way, folks. There used to be ditches. You can come down and you can stand in the ditches down the road. There's remnants of these ditches. 2 years ago, we had a big snowfall. The graders came in, they pushed the gravel into the ditch. There isn't a ditch anymore. We just want the ditches cleaned out, just like we asked last year and y'all approved it. Thank you, council. Thank y'all. Thank you.
If it pleases the court, Mr. Stevens, thank you so much. Mr. Wilson is the magistrate in that area, and he's done a lot of work on that road from beginning to end. And there are issues out there, and we're addressing them. We've marked them, and they're working on them right now from top to bottom. Now, if it pleases you, I can get the stormwater engineer with the city to come out there and address the correction and what needs to happen to alleviate your problem, and you do have a problem.
Yes, sir.
Okay? But now, and I hear this from time to time, and I love the opportunity to help anyone possible. But a lot of times we get blamed for water. You know, they say, well, it's the county's road water, it's this. But really, it's God's water, and it has a natural path that it wants to go. Now, we try to encourage it to prevent the most damage to get there. And I trust you, if you'll just give a little faith in what we're trying to do, we'll correct your problem. I promise you.
Let me make one more quick add to this. I will not go away on this
I don't want you
till
to.
this issue is taken care
Hey,
of.
I stood in the water with you.
True. 2 years now. And it was agreed to be took care of 2 years ago. So that's all I got to say to the council. And whatever I got to do, whatever route I must take, I will alleviate this. That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Take a backhoe out there and dig it up, whatever it is. That's what I do.
We tried that.
Can't,
They stopped us from doing it.
Can't.
why?
Okay, did y'all have anything else? I think, we do have, I wanna, before we dismiss here, Bill Turkey is here, he's, wants to try to speak to some of y'all afterwards, he's our new Republican chairman, he's got a few here, he just wants to speak, if you're interested in staying and helping Mr. Turkey, so after court, he'll be there. There was no further business, I'd take a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
And second, any further discussion, all in favor?
One there.
Thank you.
Will do.